Alright, as you head on over, you're walking down the main street, you see some guards, but as they look towards you, they just seem to regard you for a moment and then look away. As they're making sure the streets are like people, like trying to convince them to come to the compound and the like. As you make your way to the compound, you can see it's this like makeshift building. It's some cloth and stuff like that, hermetically sealed. Very technical, as it's self-sealing and everything like that. You see some people like walking through it. Some people cut open a side, walk through it, and it seals automatically, and then walk through the opposite side. You can see through small, like, transparent gaps. There are some people in beds, essentially. The horrible look of a hospital about it, which is probably people's fear of the place.
Are there other, like, people, like, huddled on street corners and stuff?
Yeah, there's some people on street corners, some are in buildings.
I'll turn to Thiveron, just like, does your sister look like you? I realized that was a loaded question.
What he does is he puts a hand on you and mind links with you. And you don't get any like sights, but you do get like dimensions, and you can definitely tell that she is a half elf.
Oh.
You do notice.
Okay.
She's an adopted sister.
By the way, your guys' passive perception is high enough to notice this. Is the fact that most of the people inside of the buildings are things like Shirin, Trox, stuff like that, while people outside are races such as Vex, humans, half-elves, full elves. There's also orc here and there. It seems like the people living here, this was some sort of maybe ghetto for Shirin, since they seem to have homes.
I mean, it's kind of messed up that they put a quarantine on people and like not really have, you know, like they could turn the rain off at least.
That may be true, though you do know that this rain is a sort of cleansing rain. It's not really gonna harm the people since it is warm, but it's mainly for disinfectant. They don't want this going anywhere. And it does seem like you do see some Shirin coming out and making makeshift shelters for the like people on the streets. You see them give them clothes and stuff like that. The real sense of community is still here. Despite them not wanting to risk bringing them into their homes, they are like setting them up and making sure they're looked after. They don't seem to be wanting for food.
The one thing I'm surprised about is how this sector got completely closed off and nobody's talking about it, and there's no fucking riots outside. Like, the rest of the station pretty much doesn't know anything about what's happening here.
Prava perks up when Aiden says that, like, people being kept in the dark about state secrets.
Prava, shush, I know where you're going with this, but for now, try to keep it under wraps. We don't want to cause a riot on the station. Let's first find out what's going on, see if we can find Thiveron's sister, maybe help these people out a little bit. Let's not turn it into a full-blown Itaria again, please.
But look, if this disease is only affecting the fleshier races, then why are these Shirin here in quarantine?
Let's find out, before we cause any trouble that we're unaware of.
So you gotta go, what are you gonna do? Because you do see some doctors walking around outside. They have like small little hovering umbrellas above them as they're taking notes.
Are there only security, or are there any military units around here?
There's mainly just station security. There is some battle robots about, but they're not exactly, they're more of the police kind. You see they have like stun guns and rods and stuff. There's no like actual gun weaponry. They all seem to be like carrying the stun type weaponry.
Well, talking with security is probably a bad idea, and if there's no mercenaries, then I'm out of ideas. Hope you guys have more luck with the locals.
Yeah, Prava's gonna like slip into the Sheeran relief groups, and he's gonna kind of like hint that he came in from outside, and like try and get information from these people while he's helping like deliver blankets and stuff.
As you come on in, of course, they immediately welcome you. Like they grab your hand, like putting their arm around you and say, come in, brother, come on.
Yeah, Prava's into it. The community spirit, getting way up too close to people, but they don't care 'cause they're also Sheeran.
Of course, they're very close to you. They don't seem you saw them on the streets and they weren't like that with the others, like any of their non-race, or they're with it with the Trox as well. But as you come in, it's like, where have you been? It's like, have you been in another refuge?
Actually, I just came into the district from outside.
Oh, I see. Don't tell anyone else.
Of course, I know I can trust you guys. We managed to find her crack, and we're just kind of, well, we're looking for somebody, and we think that she might be in this area.
Well, don't tell anyone there's a way out.
No, of course. I
don't want to get...
cause a panic. I wouldn't want anyone rushing out to try and escape and spread the... What is this disease? We haven't heard anything about it on the outside.
As much as we understand their plight, we can't let them run out there. If they're infected, they could infect the station. As for this infection, it seems to only infect, well, them. Like gestures. The scaled ones are much less affected. I've seen some even recover from it. But those of proper flesh, they don't do so well.
Are we also vector? We're not affected by it, but are we vectors for infection? Can we carry whatever this is?
Yes, we can carry it, and there is some minor symptoms, but nothing more than that common cold thing that the others have.
I see.
You know, vents get a bit clogged and stuff, but that's about it.
Is there any way to disinfect ourselves? We wouldn't want to carry it to the outside with us.
About a week of disinfectant away from any infected would do it. Maybe. I'm not a doctor, but it should be a way.
Well, the person we're looking for is a doctor. Have you seen any half-elf doctors working on people around here?
Oh, yes. Actually, she's one of the other ones I hear. She works in a smaller reef group just across the way. Well, I say across the way, but a small jump across a small trench, you know?
I see. And what's her name? Just so I'm making sure it's the right...
Oh, I believe she called herself Dr... what was it? He turns to the rest of them, and they look around, and the Trox moves up. He's like, yes. She called herself Dr. Jean. Clearly keeping her name hidden. Could have used a better name, if I'm honest.
You could say a medicine woman. God, that's an old reference.
I know it's cliche, but most people just call her Doc.
Thiveron is going to ask, what did she look like?
As they describe a half-elven woman with sleek back hair and, what seems to be one of her arms covered in modern plasticine bandage. And overall, it does match a description of your sister.
Do you know where she's at?
Well, as I mentioned, just across the way. She normally stays with the Sheeran Reef colony over there.
It looks like that information might be big to us. Thanks, guys. Is there anything you guys need from the outside? Anything that we could, bring along for you?
Just food, water, coverings, stuff like that. Maybe some set-up tents.
Of course, I'll get you everything you could possibly need. Here, Prava hands him his data pad. Just make a list of the stuff you need the most.
Oh, thank you. We'll be sure to share it with the other colonies. You can tell that with your empathy and with your telepathic link to your own people, he completely means it. He will immediately share it between the colonies so everybody can work getting everybody together.
Prava had 0 doubts about that, and he doesn't need his link to trust.
This is probably, despite the hard times, this is a perfect example of how Shivan work together in community. They are very community driven.
It's pretty cool, yeah. Apart from, you know, getting mind controlled and destroying worlds.
Well, that was all before this, so.
They're better now. Those weren't Sheeran, those were a Koshak, I think they were called, alright? Not the same, not the same.
So yeah, essentially they're all like, they make sure it's like, would you like anything to eat before you go, or?
Oh, we couldn't possibly stress your supplies like that. No, no, no.
What's the... While they're, like, talking, Kuzon's gonna, like... I'm gonna go outside and check on, like, the power situation and stuff like that while this is going on. Like, Kuzon's gonna, like, check out how the infrastructure is holding up, basically.
Roll me engineering.
Yeah, because I'm just interested in, like... Oh, whoa.
Not a bad roll, but as you look around, you notice the power is still on. You do notice that it doesn't seem like their water's on. Like, you see, like, the people inside aren't using the taps and all that sort of thing. No one's using the public stuff like that. But there is several set up towers near the compound and around the walls of water and the like. It seems like they've set up separate water tanks for the area.
Yeah, so they basically shut off the water valves and are offering it a different way.
Yeah, basically that. But yeah, otherwise you can see the people like looking around. It's like, we do recognize you, by the way. We did watch a while back, but don't worry, we won't tell anyone you're here.
I appreciate it. It's easier to get things done without a big following, you know?
Of course, and we understand also that, well, a few of you want to keep under the radar. But it's still good to know that you guys are here, and especially trained military personnel. Like, of course, they were gesturing towards you, Aiden, at that as well. Well, the others are clearly confident fighters. You are virtually registered military personnel.
Yep.
Military personnel? What do you guys need military personnel for in a pandemic situation?
Oh, it's not that people get desperate. I'm sure I've seen him before not kill anyone, so I hold confidence that he won't. It's just sometimes, just in case, you know, in case people get too riled up. As much as I would hate it, I do understand the police's presence.
Speaking of security, what has their official statement been? How long is this part of the station going to be on lockdown? Have they given you a timeline?
They're gonna start, they've actually already started treating who they can. Some sure have gone in and out, but most of us have decided to stay here. These are our homes after all, and, well, unless we can all be treated at a fast pace and then come back into our homes, we don't want to leave people hurting here.
So you're saying that security actually let some of you leave?
Correct. Mainly Sharon trucks and stuff like that. I believe Avex got let out as well.
I'm going to assume that's not as easy as it sounds, considering the rest of the station doesn't know about what's going on here. We had to specifically look up in a lot of places just to learn the bare minimum of what's going on in here. Clearly, security is keeping things under wrap very strictly.
It is possible. I'm sure they have good reasons, though. You can say he's very optimistic.
Prava nods in agreement. Absolutely.
As they do that, I'm going to look towards...
Kuzon doesn't believe that, but he's gonna nod and keep up the positive vibes.
In that case, I'm gonna look towards Thiveron, the only person that can't actually see, and Aiden gives him a look like this blind optimism is a bit unnerving.
Either way, if you're gonna go, be careful. We wish you luck. We would give you things, but we do not wish for your fleshy companions to become infected.
Certainly not. Don't worry about it. We're going to do this safe. We've got magic on us to keep the infection from spreading to us. We thought this through before coming in.
That is good.
Kuzon, you took a look at the infrastructure. What's the area like?
They have the main primary water valves disabled. The power grid and everything seems stable. I checked the voltage. Other than that, the only thing that's in need of servicing is all the vending machines are running out of UPBs.
I guess it makes sense that they cut off the water. Don't want to keep this thing spreading. Or nobody seems to know exactly what it is still, I'm assuming.
I have a feeling that I'm going to get lots of juicy information once we sneak into the military compound they have here.
I mean, first off, let's go over to this other Sheeran Relief Center. We've got a way bigger lead than the compound.
You think Thiveron's sister might be there?
I mean, this guy told us that someone matching her description exactly was giving medical aid over there.
Well, even if she's not there, we could stand to get some more information. Let's make our way there first anyway.
Yeah.
So, as you start making your way once more through the vein, you can feel it cleansing yourself a little bit. The bubble is keeping most of the wetness, but even so, the smell of cleansing liquid is strong in the air. As you walk past, you do see a couple more races around. Before you, you have a bridge on your left, or a trench, but like in front of you. The trench is around about 30 feet across.
No offense
20 feet
to
deep.
your new bug friend there, Thiveron, but I think I'd rather trust Prava's people, and we should find a way to get through the trench.
I have enough cable on my grappler to get across.
I mean, if it's only 30 feet, I could lift everybody across.
I defer to your judgment. I realize we are here looking for my sister, but
Yeah,
we
the
are a
cable
group.
playing sense.
If I am supposed to find her, I will find her regardless of where she is.
Oh, I mean, we just can't let people know that we're in from outside the district. I don't think there's any problem talking to security.
We're just gonna probably have a lot of security. I feel like we should probably avoid them for now.
And you say that, but there are now several people that know that we are from outside the district.
None of them are
Including-
security, though.
The new insect friend.
By the way, Aiden, I just wish to make sure you know. Do you know the jumping walls?
No, actually, I am not aware of those.
Well, given how much you can move, you could actually roll athletics to quite easily jump over this
I was
gap.
gonna say, considering I got a huge speed boost this level, can't I just fucking jump that with my jet dash?
Oh yeah, I have
Yeah.
jump jets. I forgot.
I'm not one to like tell you outright what you can and can't do. I just did think you knew
Yeah.
that you have about a like if you roll high enough, you could have like a 50-foot jump distance.
I have a
I'm gonna
jetpack,
flat out
so I
just
can do
tell
it.
you, my movement speed,
Actually-
my movement speed is now 60 feet, and with jet dash, I can basically run 6 times that, which means that my per turn movement speed can be up to like 360. So I'm like, probably a 30-foot jump is not unfeasible at that point. Like I think my math checks out, you know, 360
all
feet
of
of
us
running.
can easily cross 30 feet except for Thiveron. It's like Kuzon jumps across, Aiden takes a running start and like pole vaults across, probably just jetpacks across, and then Thiveron's standing there like, ah.
I mean, we can just throw him a rope.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tie, because I have 40 feet of cable, so I'm gonna tie one end of the cable to this side of the trench, and then I'll use my jump jets and like just basically dash across and then tie it on the other side, and then we just need like a loop or something that and like swing him across. We could stick it on his belt.
So, are you since many of you like have jump jets and jetpacks and can literally leap it? Are you gonna get like a attached rope to one side and the other and help Thiveron across? Unless Thiveron, you have a spell you can use.
I'm gonna use my
No.
grappling cable. I have a grappling cable that I can set up. That I
I
normally
think
use
Prava
for
said that he can literally, you know, use his powers to ferry him across.
I actually don't know how that works because that's an attunement ability, and I don't think I can be attuned out of combat. So I don't think I can actually
Yeah.
do that.
So I'm gonna tie. I have like 40 feet of cable, so I'm gonna tie one end of it on this side. I'm gonna jump jet across and like latch it onto something on the other side, and then he just needs like a loop or something, like a metal ring or something to loop into his belt, and he can literally slide across,
Like zip line it.
zip line it.
Okay, right. So, Aiden, this is the thing. The gap is 30 feet. So the rule is that it's a 30 athletics check to jump.
But that's for normal speed, right?
Here's the rule. Creatures with a land speed of 35 or more gain a +4 to this athletics test.
Okay.
And you also have that feat, if you remember, about jumping vertically and horizontally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means it's half distance. So that means it's 15 check. Is it half distance? Does it count as half distance? Or either way, above 40, for every 10, it increases by 4. So you have a
60
plus 12.
plus 12.
You have a plus
Yeah, okay.
12 on your ability to leap across with a minus on the actual DC. So would you like to make that roll on
So wait, are you
athletics?
telling me that DC is 15 and I have a plus 12?
I don't know. I didn't check your thing because that's why I kept asking you. Is it half, like your feet, or does it decrease the DC by 5?
I'm not sure. Let me see. Also, what ability are you talking about? Are you talking about jet dash?
No, you had one before about jumping vertically. Don't you remember?
Let me see.
I think it was
Yeah,
operated movement.
I'll fasten my zip line on both ends.
Alright. So Thiveron, could you make me a small athletics check just to climb across the thing? Unless you're going to take your time.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna take my time.
Alright, so you're going to take about 10. You're not rushing across. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm not sure which ability you're talking about, Ash. So for now, let's treat it as a 30. So with a plus 12, I easily just make it across.
So yeah, as Thiveron, you're going across. All you hear is.
Aiden just stands there casually like nothing happened. Totally human, everybody.
I'm human. Just see him like boom, jump like 50 feet, just and Thiveron, you eventually make it over. You're practically right near the refuge. It's a sort of small building. It looks like it was once like a small medical clinic. You can see some shivering around. Some people are gathering around in the parking lot, which has been covered overall with a sheet to protect against the rain for a moment.
I'll reel up my zip line so that we don't leave any evidence behind.
You can see in the sheet there's actually a small gap just above the door, so there's actually rain coming in front of the door, almost as if it's like a chemical shower you move through. So, did you want to enter, or did you want to sneak in, or what?
So what we know about this is like a bunch of volunteers here.
Yeah, these are like a Shivan colony.
Just to be safe, there's no security around. Let me go ahead and take a quick look. I'll contact you on the radio if it's safe for you guys to come.
I mean, I guess the question is, how do you feel about this, Prava? Like, do you think that if we were just forward with what we're doing here, that they would rat us out to the station security?
I mean, Prava always plans to be forward with everybody, so you're asking the wrong. Yeah, they're Sheeran. They're here to help.
Or are they here to help us?
They're here to help the people that are sick and suffering.
That probably means that they view us as
So-
interlopers.
So what are you going to do then?
Aiden's gonna sneak up ahead, make sure there's no security or any visible signs of trouble, and then he's gonna contact the others to come if he deems it it's safe for them to pop up in front of the locals.
Yeah, you see them that they're not exactly like the station security is around, but they're not gathered around the refuge at all. Seems like they're just keeping an eye out on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them where the security relatively is around and for them to avoid it if they want to make contact with the locals.
If you come up, essentially you just see people huddled up, like getting ready to get treated and the like, and this clinic is essentially near like the main walls and stuff. Inside you see some Shirin walking about in like dress code and stuff like that, and you see a clocks at the door, like just leant over, looking around.
So I wanted to nose around and figure out what this thing is.
Right, so how are you entering? I'll give you some options. Are you entering through a window? Are you entering through the main door?
I mean, I'll climb up through one of the windows.
Alright, what about you, Thiveron? What are you doing?
He's going with Prava.
As you step up, he holds up his hand to stop you for a moment. As he goes on the comm that he has in his ear, he takes out a small phone, takes a picture of you, waits for a moment. Then he gives a small nod and gestures in.
Oh hell no, I'm going for the window with Kuzon.
It's like Vector, not as effective with you. Be careful, touch nothing.
That's alright. Can't you see the fancy magic he's got around him? It's the best in anti-disease magic tech.
As long as you don't touch anything, Prava. Or anyone.
Make sure to wash fur if you do touch.
And remember to wear your mask and social distance.
I don't want to be this on topic. It's not my fault. Anyway, so Aiden, you follow Kuzon into the building as well. And as you go into the main building, you see people going around, Shirin, and as they notice you, like you and Kuzon, it's like, well, clearly they're meant to be here. And they like scare off with their tools and stuff.
By the way, since we kind of snuck in with a place that had some supplies, were there any spare lab coats or something?
If you walk out and essentially you can see a supply closet.
I'm gonna tap Kuzon on the shoulder and then point towards the supply closet. Let's make ourselves look a little more like, we belong here.
Are we gonna like find like a large one and I'll sit on your shoulders and we'll pretend to be a giant lizard man?
Hello, fellow human.
Hello, fellow
Hello, fellow
human. I am new race of tall lizard who do not get sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, we'll try to disguise ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I'll put a lab coat and probably some kind of face mask.
Yeah, I'll pull down like my goggles, like that I usually use for the night vision visors. I'll put them over my face, like my eyes, and then put on a mask. Kind of make myself look a bit like a doctor.
Okay, then as you like prep yourself up and everything, you do notice that there are a few like in this main room that Prava and Thiveron are in currently. They see that people are going into this one room, like in and out. And when they come out, they're looking much healthier, but they are still being directed towards a bed, like past the sealed door and stuff like that.
Whatever treatment's happening in there looks pretty effective. Prava's gonna walk up to someone who doesn't look too busy. And he's like, "Hi, I'm from the Shirin colony across the street. We're getting some more supplies in soon, and I wanted to ask Doc if she needed anything."
The DC's going to be low, but could you roll me diplomacy?
Maybe a bluff.
Yeah, bluff, sorry. God, I'm so used to having
I do intend to send them supplies. It's not like a completely...
True, but you're not from there. The DC's low, don't worry. So yeah, essentially you go, of course. I will contact her right now. And they go off and they try to contact her. Meanwhile, Kuzon and Aiden, you have like a Shirin, like, doctors, are you available for treating patients?
Yeah. This is my assistant. and we'd be happy. It's like I have the time to see somebody.
I'm gonna give Kuzon the stink eye, like, what the fuck are you doing? But I'm not gonna say anything.
I'll figure it out. I know medicine.
Come with me, quickly.
I
Remember
need
to
to
keep
see
your
what
masks on.
equipment. I want to see what equipment they're using.
I mean, Kuzon does specialize in like neurological stuff, so
It's like it's good that you are users of magic as well. This is a very effective magic to use here. As Rishirin guides you to a room, would you like to roll medicine?
Yeah, I'll take a look at what the equipment and everything is like.
Hmm.
God
Aiden,
damn it,
so you
our
trying to
rolls are
help?
just horrible today. What the fuck? I even have medicine trained, believe it or not.
Right. As they're off on their comedy of errors adventure to be undercover doctors, like basically treating the basic symptoms of after like disease and stuff like that. You're doing that, and eventually the door opens up, and you see like the Trox essentially who was talking to you before usher you in, Prava and Thiveron. And Thiveron, as you come in, it's like you hear a familiar voice who's turned away from you. It's like, I'll be there to talk to you in a moment. I'm finishing up this treatment. And she is sitting down across from a patient as they're physically getting better, as they have this cable, almost like a dialysis machine tube, going from their arm, like into a small machine, into her own arm from a device just around her elbow.
Thiveron doesn't say anything yet because what she's doing appears to be a kind of a involved procedure. She doesn't want to break her focus, but is it Alaria? Like, can I tell that?
You can tell that, yes.
Thiveron slowly sits down in one of the chairs and then ushers Prava to do the same.
Prava tilts his head, being like, "Is this her?" But he sits.
Yeah, Thiveron nods to you.
Eventually,
Actually, telepathically tells you that it's her.
Eventually, the person does stand up, and he looks much better than he did before.
At that point, Thiveron will say, "It's okay. I can wait a couple more minutes."
You see, like, Alaria stop for a moment. She's about to turn around, but then the patient like catches attention, like, "Thank you, doctor. I'll make sure to pay you back." And she just shakes her head. "You've done enough." And he basically goes through the opposite door from where you are, basically where the hospital is sectioned off from this patient area, and he goes off. And from what you can see, she detaches the tube, grabs the arm, and with a sharp twist, the arm seems to fall off as she's holding the arm and packs it away into this crate.
What?
And as she twists a small thing on the device of where the arm actually snapped off. And, well, she's missing an arm right now, but she does open up another crate to get out a small, well, another arm essentially, but it looks normal and not covered in plastine bandages like before. She attaches it, twists the tube, and it works once more. Essentially, she's using biotech.
I thought you were getting very macabre for a second. I was like, what?
No, she didn't rip off her arm. Essentially, it was disconnected.
Yeah.
She's got different stuff. She's got a medical arm. She's got a general use arm. Maybe she's got a fighting arm somewhere.
While me and Aiden are going around, I'm looking for like an open computer terminal or something like that. And even if I'm being watched, like, I'll use my exocortex to access it. I don't want the official record of what's going on. I want the whatever stored here record of what's going on.
All right, well, computers.
Yeah, because I'm not I don't want to just take somebody's word for it. There's been too much cover up going here for Kuzon to just take anything anybody says to him about it at face value. Whoa, really?
Today is not a good day
You
for
have
all.
been affected by Corvus. This is what you get for not playing this game.
You
I
only
don't
managed
think
to
I don't
access
think
for
I've rolled
surface
higher.
files.
I don't think I've rolled like higher than 10 all game if I look at all my rolls.
You do access for surface files, however. You're still talented, but as you access for surface files reports, you notice that reports on this disease have been happening for a little while and before they close it down. And essentially they report on the fact that the humans and their other skin races were getting infected. So it's generally the rundown of everything that's happening is like we have to tell security. It's like, but what if they lock us down? It's like that's a risk we have to take and stuff like that. So that's just.
I mean, this is useful because I can use it if anybody asks me questions. Now I'm not bluffing when I just give them the details. I just know without having to look at the computer, so I can pretend to be somebody who knew all along.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Thiveron turns round, and as soon as she spots you, she stops. Like, oh, standing in a track like a deer in headlights.
Thiveron stands up slowly and walks toward her, and then just throws his arms around her and starts sobbing.
She's still in shock, even as you like wrap your arms around her. You hear sort of like, be careful that, like, she's clearly trying to tell you like cleanliness, doctor stuff and stuff like that, but the thing is she's too like emotional as well, and she lifts up like a good arm, not the biotech one, and hugs you as well. Like she's puts her like face in your collar and like so in shock that you're even here.
Aww.
Thiveron pulls himself off of her and says, I thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead and then missing.
I've
Like
been on the
she's
station.
looking up at you, like looking at a ghost.
Well, why didn't you look? I've been between here and the Adari for the past couple of years. Like, he's gone from like emotional to almost older siblings scolding a younger one.
As she looks down for a moment towards her hand, it seems like the hand she's looking at is like her left hand. It used to be a dominant hand, but she doesn't seem to be using it for much, even when she hugged you. She's looking at it for a moment. It's like, things happened. I have been trying my best to cure this affliction, and I have found a way, though station security doesn't agree with me. She like stands up, like quite proud of herself.
So I see you've continued your study.
Yes, I had some help in understanding, and well, some help on testing it on myself as well. Though I shouldn't call it help.
Well, the treatment seems effective.
Yes, basically I use flesh that is much more desirable to the pathogen. It's not what it seems, after all. Think of it like a bioengineered virus. So,
You were always better with this than I was. What can I do to help you?
I'm working to, well, understand it. I already have several samples. She gestures down towards the arm. By filtering the user's blood through my arm's circulatory system, I'm able to trap it within the arm. The flesh I developed is desirable to this pathogen's needs. It simply desires my arm more than the blood of the infected. And once it's low enough, we can treat it with antibiotics. If you can get some more of those, that'd be nice. And now I have samples, I can understand it even more. You can see a small smile on her face. It's an off smile, one that you never really saw before.
Thiveron is too overcome with emotion to really notice it yet. He walks over to Prava and says, you can meet her later. I'm sure you want to, but we should leave her to her work for now.
Well, first let's help her with her work. Doctor, we're here to get a list of supplies that you need. We've got a connection with the outside, and we're able to get things in.
Ah, of course. Well, I'll send a list to you. Now I know you're here, I can easily send out a signal. While signals are being blocked, I've thankfully got people here that can get out messages.
Perfect. You tell us what we need, and we'll get it here to you. We want to help these people just as much as you do.
Of course. She smiles, and she's preparing, like, getting, like, stuff together and making sure that, you know, antibiotics, bandages, like, cleaning fluid, stuff like that.
Prava makes telekinetic contact with Thiveron. He's like, "Are you sure that was enough? You only just met."
We'll talk later. The people need her right now more than I do.
Mind you, she does come over to Ron and gives you another hug, like a very tight hug.
Thiveron freezes and then hugs her back.
And then you feel a small pinprick against your arm.
Oh no.
It's like, that's just in case. You shouldn't hug people inside of a hospital.
He just kind of like shakes his and goes, oh no, yeah. But of course, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to compromise your laboratory. I know how the fur can be.
Yes. Thankfully it's not a cold month, otherwise you'll be shedding everywhere.
Thiveron looks away, dejected. And then
Aiden is very sad he's not there to hear that.
she's the only one that gets to make those jokes.
Well, it's not a joke. He does shed.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially she's like, I hope we get to talk soon. That you can stay. I have work to do. I have much studying to do as well. You wouldn't believe the marvels that I've discovered.
Look forward to hearing of them. I have seen much as well.
She gives a small smirk before going, either way, if you wish to know the full story of what's going on here, you want to ask?
I
Well-
thought that you were curing the virus. Is there more research that you're working on?
Oh, well, of course I'm researching the virus itself. It's a marvelous thing, but I meant more of the situation with security.
Well, yes, that would be good to know.
Well, the whole point is they're trying to keep it under wraps. Trying to make sure people don't panic. It's just a simple infection, no need to get everybody too worked up, they have it contained. But what they're not telling people is that it was deliberate.
You mean the
What do you
infection?
mean?
Yes. It was a deliberate device. A biological weapon. That's how I'm able to trick it into the arms.
But
A normal
why,
virus wouldn't do something like that.
why drop a flesh-targeted virus into a Sheeran slum district?
I don't know. But there were some whispers. Some small, tiny whispers. Well, there are some crazy people. Some insane people that follow after the swarm.
Prava shivers when she says that.
It's quite possible that he invented this to perhaps give it to the swarm. After all, if you think about it, a device that targets all flesh-born creatures apart from ones with chitin and such internals would be a virus, a perfect one for invasion.
So you're saying someone developed a weapon to give to the what, to make their devouring of space easier?
It seems that way. Well, to me it does, but we have no confirmation. The people that set it off died.
Do you have access to the cadavers?
Yes. I'm actually the one who collected them. They're in the back, in the morgue.
I've made friends in El area. We may be able to get to the bottom of this. Maybe it will help you further cure the patients or aid in your research.
Well then,
Whenever she said that she collected the cadavers herself, can I just like sense a motive? Like, Is she being like completely truthful about that?
It seems like she did collect the cadavers. That part is true. But the method, it sounds more half-truth. Like, doesn't sound like she collected them herself, since she sounds unsure about that part.
Alright, I'm not going to call her out in anything yet, but probably going to note that in his head.
So, you're free to take a look. Just don't touch anything.
Probably already has his hands on something when she said. It's like holding the medical device, and he just like.
And Thiveron, brother, make sure you take a bath once you get outside.
Thiveron will smell his fur, but I just bathed last week.
To wash off, just in case you caught anything, brother. No, not because you smell.
Still, you should bathe more often.
Your last bath probably the cleansing fire. You weren't there for the cleansing fire. Never mind. You didn't get a cleansing fire bath.
Exactly.
He did. Yeah, Thiveron was there for that.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
You're right.
So yeah, it was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, he's right. But anyway, as she turns around, it's like I should get back to treating people, but I'll be in contact with everyone.
Before he leaves, Thiveron will give her like his communicator information and the rest of the group's communicator information.
She gives a nod. She's clearly it's almost heartbreaking for her to actually let you go like this. Like she wants you to spend like hours here, but
It's
there's clearly a lot of work.
Imagine that with this quarantine, we will be here for a while.
Well, you shouldn't stay here for too long. But don't worry. I'm safe.
I should warn you, upstairs, two of my new friends. They
Don't rat us out.
opted to remain undetected. If you meet a human and an Ishketi, they're harmless.
I hope they haven't been touching things or patients. I mean, they could get infected.
Don't worry, Kuzon's more responsible than that. He wouldn't get into any cockamamie schemes.
Thiveron turns to you and says, but what about Aiden?
Kuzon's with him, everything's gonna be okay.
But what about Aiden?
The thing is I'll assume that we've been washing our hands and shit. Like,
Well, yeah, you'd be taking precautions, but there's always that 1%.
oh no,
20%.
I want to. Speaking of doing something hands-free, I want to try hacking.
You can do that. And essentially, Prava and Thiveron, if you wish to go to the morgue, it does pass by the others.
I think that's like the 5th time we've rolled a 4 today. Oh my
Yes,
god.
and you get the exact same information, just from a different doctor's perspective.
That's frustrating. I checked. I rolled a 19 once, and then every other roll I did was 10 or less.
Oof.
Dude, today's rolls have been below average to say the least. I feel you.
So, essentially, on your way towards the morgue, all you see is like these 2 doctors hanging around a computer.
Thiveron will greet them and say, hello, my name is Thiveron. I am working with the doctor. She said that I should look at the patient 0 corpses.
And as he does that, I'm gonna flick his nose. What the fuck are you doing, you idiot?
Oh wait, no. What I've been able to tell from stuff that it was them, because I don't rely on sight. Remember that.
Oh yeah, right.
That's true, but maybe like the chemical wash they were wearing covered up their smell. I don't know. That was just hilarious to me. I don't know why, but yeah. However you guys want to play that out, it was just funny to me.
Yeah. As he starts talking, because I'm assuming he can't recognize us by smell because of all the chemicals, I'm just gonna flick his nose. Thiveron, it's us. What are you doing?
You smell like not you.
It's like I smell like Dr. Newzok.
Also, thank God you're here. Kuzon has been pretending to be a doctor. It's been an absolute nightmare. This is the last time I go fucking sneaking with him.
That sounds truly
I do
terrible.
know how to do. It's like I have more information in my head than the average medic.
Yeah, but the average medic has information about medicine.
Look, I have medicine. I have plus 11 to medicine and plus 13 to physical science. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Oh god. So, are you guys gonna head to the morgue after you collect the two, the two comedy of errors?
Thiveron says to them, I have good news. It is her. She is the doctor here, and her treatments seem to have advanced far beyond what she was capable of a couple years ago when I last saw her.
Yeah, her fake arm's way better than yours, Kuzon.
Man, this sucks.
I'm just gonna like switch my hand with a laser drill. Just be like, step back.
You say, you see
No,
that.
Kuzon, he didn't mean that.
You see that Aiden is extremely disappointed. Man, this sucks. You had a fucking emotional reunion while I was stuck here playing doctor with Kuzon. Man, I miss on everything fun around here.
Well, I mean,
she told us that the guards are intentionally covering up that this was a bioterror attack.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me somebody spread this thing intentionally?
Yes, and they suspect that it was a thorn worshipping cult.
I'm so disappointed. It would have been so funny if Kuzon had hacked that information out of the computer. Just...
You can
So wait.
stop, Doctor. I've already told her that you two are here.
So wait, what's our next move then? What do we do?
Well, she said that she had the bodies of the terrorists that set off the virus. So I figured we should take a look at them.
Oh, great.
I doubt that she missed much. She tends to be very thorough, but in the
Great.
event,
Examining biohazardous corpses. This day just keeps getting better and better.
it's all right. Just don't touch it. You'll be fine.
So, how are we supposed to check them out without touching them?
Well, actually, technically, it only protects you from inhaled diseases.
Yeah, so, but if you do end up going down to the morgue, you do find that there are autopsy machines. It's the future, after all. There's like a robotic arm you can control.
I'm gonna look towards Kuzon. Okay, doctor, let's see what you can do.
And as you do go up to it, you do notice that the two bodies that she marked as basically patient zeros are one Shirin and one human. Though the human seems to have some sort of strange chitinous implants across his like neck and shoulder, like one of his shoulders.
Chitinous implants, like he has chitin overlapping his neck and shoulders and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
Prava doesn't know how to feel about that. Kind of a weird thing.
I'll inspect that. Were they are they natural or were they like added to him at some other point? Like, you know what I mean?
Roll me medicine. Anyone can roll medicine, by the way.
Well,
Aid him.
I do have it
No,
trained.
I was gonna aid Kuzon, and for the first time ever, use my racial trait here of cooperative.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so a 21 to aid.
21 to aid. That's gains plus 2 skill.
All of a sudden, we're all fucking doctors for some reason. Look at those rolls.
Right, Kuzon's bonuses go above 30 thanks to Thiveron and Aiden's help. Essentially, you're like helping him like move certain parts with like extended tongs and stuff, making sure you don't touch them too close, making sure you're using some robotic arms to keep open, keep lit. Basically, you're helping him out. Prava, you're seeing them like cut open one of your people, so probably a little, you know.
Prava's kind of like macabre. He's looking like, oh, that's how that attaches, huh? Neat.
Oh, so that's how I work inside.
Prava showing off his psychopathic tendencies all of a sudden.
I mean, everybody's a machine, right? We're like, people are just a bunch of moving parts attached together. The principle is the same.
Arya would agree with you.
Here's what you do discover about the human first. The human's implants were self-done, essentially. Not by himself, but they were implanted on him. Like, basically, marking him. You see certain marks, certain tattoos across his body from the chitinous chitin. It's like almost like a dust storm of sorts with small creatures in it. But his cause of death was definitely from the virus. Getting such a strong dose straight away without his immune system to protect him basically killed him straight out. And probably in a very horrific way, given the fact that his nervous system seems to have been heavily damaged. Like beyond repair. And certain other aspects of him are a little strange, such as he seems to have like inside of his body some sort of implant. Like it's biotech, but it's, how do you explain it? Almost like the adrenaline gland of a Shirin. It's not natural, but it's almost copied from it. Maybe he thought this would protect him against it? That's the best theory you could come up with.
Weird.
Sheeran died.
Or either that, or if there is a swarm worshipping cult, like maybe there's human people trying to become more swarm-like in order to appease them.
That is possible. The swarm have tried in the past to get Shirin troopers back into their ranks. They see them less as enemies and more of a misbegotten hive that they must reintegrate. So maybe they think this will protect them. Meanwhile, the Shirin, he's got all the basic Shirin things. However, his cause of death is what points you out to most. He has minor symptoms of a virus, you know, the basic ones that all Shirins have. But this one seems to have a hole through his neck and into his brain. And as you take a look around, you notice what caused that, as it has several holes going from his chest upwards into his neck, into his brain, and you find one of these spines inside of his body. What it is, hang on a minute, let me see, what is, somebody roll me life science.
Not me.
All that.
What you find.
I mean, I'll roll to help him.
You have a +2 bonus to do that. So you rolled an 11. You got
Yep, DC's 10, so you did help, and plus, so essentially, what this is a very basic sort of biotech weapon. Essentially, it's a spine that shoots out of your hand. It's sort of like the equivalent of a mechanical version where you can pop out a pistol out of your arm. It's sort of like that. It seems like this one was killed intentionally with a weapon, probably after the fact. It doesn't seem like they have any ID on them, sadly. And their clothing is atypical.
Can I take a culture check to see if I can recognize the clothing and uniform?
Sure.
Do they have any like personal ID or anything, or is that all like in like a locker somewhere else?
They have personal items, which is locked beside them in a small container.
I'll take a look through that.
As you look up a culture, this clothing is basically normal clothing, but they seem to be adorned as a normal religious sort of sign, like the sashes they wear and the certain like cufflinks and all that sort of thing.
Can I tell what they signify? Like what they represent?
They seem to represent, well, worship of a thing, but they don't seem to have any regalia that shows what they worship. What they're wearing is normal worship attire for like churchgoers, but they don't have like medals of Dromedary and stuff like that on them.
Okay,
That's
so
normal people wear.
I have a question for that ability you gave me. Even though Speak with Dead is a level of spell that I cannot yet cast, does that ability allow me to cast it once for a resolve point?
Yes, though it's limited by your level, sort of deal. For instance, it won't last as long. So that kind of thing.
Okay, so I turn to everybody else and specifically say this to Prava and say this might get a little uncomfortable. So if you are squeamish, I ask you to leave the room.
Can't be that bad.
Thiveron shrugs and said, I warned you. And he puts his goggles on. They start glowing orange and starts waving his hands around the corpse. And voices start to come out of the corpse's mouth. And Thiveron just says, who are you?
I am Malika.
And how did you die?
Killed by woman. Weapon from nowhere.
Who?
Do not know name.
What did she look like?
Pointed ears.
God fucking damn it.
The hair of silk.
Sounds pretty familiar to everyone.
Yeah, that breaks his concentration. And Thiveron ends the spell.
Your body goes limp.
I mean,
Didn't tell.
there are other elves, right?
A quarantine area in a Sheeran district.
No, let's not jump.
Specialized
Let's not jump to
Even-
any
even-
conclusions until we've got some more
even-
proof.
Thiveron is kind of shaking. Says, even if she killed him, that doesn't mean she was involved, right?
But why wouldn't she tell us that she killed him? Why did she lie about how she got the bodies?
Here, we should go back up.
Laria has always had a malleable approach to the morality of her research.
Wearing gloves. I'm gonna go through this guy's personal, like I'm gonna go through the box of the items he has with him.
While he's doing that, Thiveron's gonna say, I need a few moments of silence. And then he sits cross-legged in the corner of the room and begins to meditate. And he's going to use a new ability. I think it's only 10 minutes for this.
Peer into the future. Peer into the 6th level. Once a day, you can spend 10 minutes uninterrupted meditation. Possible futures. At any point of the next one, you can declare that you are using benefit of this ability. Oh, I saw you do that. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so I can gain a +4 insight bonus to an initiative check, a saving throw, or a skill check at any point in the next 24 hours.
Huh. That's cool. If you combine that with downtime, then you could be a very good future player, could you?
I am turning into a literal oracle.
Yeah, you are. It's like I cannot see, but I see all.
Yeah.
But as you're looking for the items, Kuzon, you find the basic items like lighter, the basic like theater tickets. You have like a wallet. Doesn't really show any major ID. There's some like 10 credits in there. But eventually you do find a phone. It seems to be the humans. The screen's locked.
Get me in there. Alright. If I can roll like even a 10, I'll be happy. I rolled a
There
10!
Even 10 rolls 10. So as soon as you do that, you unlock the phone. Its security was complete trash. Like whoever this dude is does not know how to be in a secret cult at all. Like, as you swipe it, it's like he's got pictures of his friends, his family. Turns out this guy was named Rob, like Rob Buchanan. As you're going through like all the pictures and stuff, you see like like they reacting at the theater, stuff like that, and eventually you come across like emails between two people, and it's like, remember to delete these emails once you have received them. It's like, understood. When is our next meeting? It's like, we will meet soon. It's like, our Shirin consort. Oh, he comes with another to aid in our project. Soon you shall gain the favor of the swarm, brother. And he seems to carry on like that. It's like basically praising the swarm. It's like it's like there's no way we can stop them anyway, so we might as well accept their like desires. And we are lucky. It's like despite all of us like differences and the like, it's like we were able to get one of them, referring to the Shirin. He mentions him by name, Melitik, and as he does, it's like, yes, and now he brings another to aid us, to create the weapon, to weaken those that stand in the swarm's way. It's like, be mindful, brother. They are watching. And then the correspondence ends.
Does so they said meeting soon. They didn't have any like specific. Do they have like a location and a time?
It seems like the theater that was pointed out here, and I'm going to say you guys remember, it's actually the theater is going to be the main attraction area of that magic parade. Like that's where they're going to show off all the items.
Well, he had a ticket to it, right? Like that's the tickets for.
Yeah, seems like he had tickets to both the parade and the show that was to take place way before the parade, like a few weeks ago.
I'd say like Kuzon's like probably like I'd say at this point Kuzon like would hold the phone and then just like he's just sorting through it with his exocortex, like he's not scrolling, he's just like basically pulling apart this information as efficiently as possible using his brain. And I'm gonna be like, I got some disturbing news, and I'll hand the phone over to Prava with the email chain and everything listed on it, just so he can read it. But it's like not good.
Does this mean they plan to do something at the parade?
Looks like chances are they're gonna try to infect a huge amount of people at the parade. Some kind of bomb maybe? Or maybe carriers again? Either way, it seems like the perfect time to strike if a lot of people are gonna be in one spot.
Oh, actually, sorry to interrupt, but Thiveron, your passive perception is actually high enough to notice this. As like they're talking, you basically see with like your blind sense, you see like this small indentation indicating writing on the back of the ticket. While it's not braille, you can feel like somebody basically got a pen and wrote it in. Like it's sunk on the back, though you can't really read it.
Right. I'm going to call Aiden's attention to this.
Aiden's gonna flip it and take a look.
As you look, essentially it says below the theater, and in a code 2054.
Well, guess it's a bomb, and we know exactly what it is.
Do you think that the doc found this information before us? Or how hard was it to get to Kuzon?
I guess if I have a path, like if I have a map of the local area.
Do you think station security has any idea there's a bomb threat at the parade? Or like
I doubt
Yeah,
anybody but
that-
us knows about this. After all, Kuzon had to crack the phone.
I'm gonna make sure that there's no like evidence on the phone that I tampered with it. Like I'm gonna remove my access of it. I'll lock it back up. Actually, no, I'll leave it unlocked. I think what we need to do is we need to send an anonymous tip. I don't want to get implicated in whatever's on the other side of this, but I think they need to know when's the parade happening.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Oh shit, that's not a lot of
Kuzon,
time.
we can't send a tip, especially anonymous. Look at how they're handling the situation. It's a 50-50 chance they'll ignore it, and the rest, it's probably gonna cause trouble and it's gonna get pinned on us. Besides, even if they decide to act, there's no time.
All right, I'll. This is why I make sure to wear gloves. I'll lock the phone back up, and like I'll put it back in the state where I left it, and I'll stick it back in the box. And like
Suddenly you see Aiden's complexion change and he goes pale.
oh, Aiden.
The mercenary is back at zero risk. They're taking the kids to the parade. You see that Aiden's already eyeing the door. He's getting ready to leave.
we have to go now.
Yeah, follow your lead. Let's get the hell out of here.
Thiveron, I know we came all the way for your sister, but it's gonna have to wait.
I think she would agree with you 100%. Thiveron does too, so let's work, guys.
We'll come visit her another time after we solve this. And with that, Aiden's gonna start rushing out. He's not stopping for anybody that tries to talk to him. He's just trying to find the quickest way out of the building.
Thiveron hesitates for a second, looks toward the way back to Ilaria, and then back toward Aiden, and then starts following him.
I know, or I can assume that they have something in the wall that's like dampening communication outside of the zone, right? So that somebody just doesn't immediately leak what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
basically
why.
a jam around.
So we're not going to be able to send a signal through at all.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I assumed as much. That's why Aiden didn't try to contact the guys immediately.
Yeah. No, and I assumed as such. I just wanted to confirm my suspicions. It's not just as simple as giving them a call.
So, you're on your way. You're rushing through the rain-soaked streets once again, having either jumped out a window and gone through the front door. You can see Ilaria is concerned as you rush out to run, but doesn't stop you. More like it's about to say something, but you're gone along with the others.
If I saw her, I would have sent her a quick telepathic message that there's attack on the parade tonight.
You can see it, like, she doesn't answer you as you rush off. You see her turn around back into the clinic. And as all of you rushing through the streets, you can already hear the music over the walls. The happy-go-lucky type music that is ominous with the parades. But we'll have to see if our heroes manage to stop it all next time.
Oh no.
Cliffhanger!
No!